Hey everyone, Lauren from A Girl and Her Wool here. Fibonacci is here right now. I literally just finished recording my Wednesday work in progress video. In case you don't know, I tend to post all my videos or record all my videos for the week all at once and then release them. So he wasn't in the last one, but he just jumped up now that I pressed record on this video. So we are happy to have you. Happy Friday. It is Friday, so I'm going to be talking all about a recent finished object. So this week's finished object is, even though it's been finished for a while, it's getting highlighted finally. This is the little Thun sweater. So this sweater is a baby sweater, the little Thun sweater. It is by Emily Frank. I think she's known as Blue Mouse. It's definitely written here for you right now. And I knit this in my hand-dyed yarn on my DK base, which is a 4-ply superwash merino nylon DK weight yarn. I did it in strawberry shortcake, which is the main color, and then the stripes are mint chip. And these two colors I've dyed as a pair. The same green that's in mint chip shows up throughout strawberry shortcake. And at first, I would say the hardest part of this pattern was pronouncing it correctly. So if you haven't, I have it written here, you would have seen it written. So it's spelled Thun, so I called it the little Thun sweater for a very long time. And again, this is going to be a shop sample. I was supposed to be doing an in-person trunk show and definitely be checking everywhere because I'm starting to promote what we're going to do instead. We're going to be doing a virtual trunk show instead. But this was originally a sample that I was going to have there. And so I was trying to get it done and I brought it to Sit and Stitch and people were asking what pattern it was and I kept saying Little Thun and they were like, little what? Little what? And I kept saying Thun, Thun. They're like, fun? What are you saying? And so I was like, Thun, Thun. And then I was like, let me look up what it means, because usually in patterns they explain what the name means. And I look it up and it's like the little Thun, and then in parentheses says pronounced Toon, Toon. So I was like, hey guys, it's the little Thun sweater. And I guess Thun is the name of a lake. Europe is coming to mind. I forget exactly. If you're interested, definitely check out the pattern. It's a great pattern. So yeah, that would have been the hardest part. It's a top-down raglan sweater. So you start with the collar, you go down, you increase like a normal raglan, and then you split for the sleeves, finish the body, and then you pick up the sleeves and do each of the little sleeves, and it has the striping. So if you don't want to do the striping, you don't have to. If you want a basic baby sweater pattern, I definitely recommend this raglan sweater. It's well written. I knit this very quickly, no problems. Nothing was confusing about it. And I think she does have an adult version of it as well. And I knit the, I knit the 12-month size. So I wanted to make it a baby sweater. I wanted to knit a baby sweater out of these yarns, again, as a sample. And I didn't want it to be too large because I didn't want it to take up too much time because I needed to get it done. But I also didn't want it too little because I did want to show off the yarn. So 1-year-old size seemed great. Again, I don't know if I went down needle sizes. I usually do, but you can check all that out on my Ravelry project page, which I put in the description box. The only thing I want to talk about really is the color changes. So this is the front and this is the back and this is blocked. So I've woven in the ends and I've blocked it. It is laying very nice, very blocked. But you can even see that line there. And what happened there was this is where you do the color change, and it's entirely possible that I didn't do that right. It's usually you do the color changes down the side, and this one was somewhere in the back, which if you look, it's kind of where the rose started at the top, and maybe I was supposed to change the marker. It's fine, it's a sample. Even if it were getting worn by a baby, it would be fine. And so what I did at first is I was carrying the yarn. So as I was doing these and it didn't give you instructions on what to do. As I was knitting the mint chip, I carried the strawberry shortcake down. And then the same thing, when I was doing the strawberry shortcake, I carried the mint chip down. And I, was pre-blocking, and I felt like it just looked a little messy, and I didn't want to get a faux seam. So what I decided to do was then I was cutting, and I would pick up the yarn. And whenever you do that, you get the holes. And so I think that's why it just looks a little funky. And I think that if it's entirely possible I don't weave in my ends the best. Maybe I could have made it a little bit neater in how I wove in my ends. Again, I don't even think if a kid were wearing it, you'd really notice. But that would be the only thing. I think I ended up, and I'll show you the inside. Okay, so for the rest of it, I cut and wove in ends. On the sleeve, I didn't, because I could see it was getting a little bit messy. So when I did the sleeves, I carried the yarn down. And that's where you start to see a little seam. And that's what I wanted to avoid going down the back of a sweater. I think if it were in the side, I wouldn't have cared. So anyway, that's kind of the messiest part of it. It's the part that I'm least proud of, but again, if a kid were wearing it, no one would know. So let me show you the inside just so you can see what I'm talking about here. So you see this part, that's where I was carrying the yarns down. So as I was working on the mint chip, I carried strawberry shortcake and vice versa. And then you can see at the bottom, I stopped. There is no more yarn getting carried down. And that's where I kind of wove in the ends. And I trimmed them, but you can kind of see them a little bit. So that's what it looks like on the inside when you carry the yarn versus you weave in the ends. And you can see on one of these little sleeves that I carried the yarn down the entire way. So anyway, that would be it. I know there are ways that I could probably manage it. Again, it's a baby sweater. It's a shop sample. So my plan for this is it will be a sample in person. I have some shows later this year that I will be at. And so it will be a shop sample for as long as I have these colorways. And then at some point, if I'm kind of tired of this sample, or the colorways get retired, or it kind of gets a little beat up, I will either give it away to somebody at that time who has a 1-year-old, or I will donate it to charity. So yeah, that is a little Thun sweater. Again, I would totally knit this as a baby gift. It went really quickly. The stripes I think are adorable. I think it's fun to have the variegated colorway and then something a little bit more simple in there. I did contemplate for a while which would be the main color and which would be the contrast. And I do think it's fun the way I chose it. I'm sure if I were sitting here holding it up the opposite way, I would have said the same thing. So again, and if you're interested, this is a DK weight base. You can order both of these colorways from the shop. If you look for the link that has them as a combined set, so if you go to the sections yarn kits, I do sell them as a pair, which is slightly more favorable pricing for you. So go check those out. Yeah, that's it. Oh, so that is it. So that is it for this Faux Friday. I am happy to have had you join me today. I'm happy that I have another finished object. I know I finished this quite a while ago, but I try to spread out when I talk about these so that I have projects, knowing I won't always have a finished object every week. So again, tomorrow I will have a video post about my stash, so make sure you check that out. If you didn't see my work in progress post from Wednesday, go check that out. And exciting things are happening for A Girl and Her Wool, so make sure you subscribe and stay tuned. I will have a virtual trunk show coming up soon. That's in conjunction with my local yarn shop, A Knit Sheep Yarns. So make sure you come and check us out. And I'm sorry, my watch keeps going off. I should turn the Bluetooth off before I do this. That is it. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on the internet. Bye.